Welcome back to another episode of The Canon, where I bring you the latest in comic book and superhero movie news. I'm your host Terry, and I'm ready to bring you the stuff that matters. Before we start, quick reminder, go to the description box if you want to jump around to different topics that interest you. Alright, so for our first bit of news, we got Fox Studios, number one in the headlines today, as they put out some new release dates for their upcoming X-Men movies in 2018. We got New Mutants is coming out in April 2018, followed by Deadpool 2 coming out in June 2018, and of course Dark Phoenix coming out November 2018. So I'm going to have to keep this. Now for me, I thought that Deadpool 2 could have stayed in February. Just it did so much success in the box office with a movie that wasn't super well known, but you're in a time where there's not a lot of big movies coming out. And so it really captured the box office. And I thought now that you have fans who know what it is, you could go back to that date and really rack up. Same way that Disney Lucasfilm is racking up with Star Wars in December, because you don't have a lot of competition. But I understand summer blockbusters, the next point you want to reach. So going from February, where there's not a lot of competition, so you can eat the box office that way, but going to the summer where there's more competition, however, there's a lot more opportunity for people to go see movies. So it's kind of a give and take. I understand why they did it, but I still like it overall. New Mutants, that's an interesting one. So that confirms what we've been hearing all along. New Mutants is the next project, Simon Kinberg told us. And New Mutants could go one of two ways. Spoiler, if you've seen Logan, you realize that they really set these kids up as New Mutants, and maybe it's following their story and what they do when they got to Canada. So we can go that route, or you can go to more traditional New Mutants that we heard about. And so I think they could possibly be the mutants in the Deadpool universe, I guess, because Deadpool, we don't know where that falls. You know, Deadpool, we saw Negasonic, we saw Colossus because of, budget issues. We didn't see everybody else, but they could easily say, okay, this takes place in the future before Logan, but after, X-Men Apocalypse and stuff. So maybe these are the mutants currently when Deadpool's around, and then they do spin off in X-Force. Or this is the new mutant, so we don't really know, where that falls. But we do have Dark Phoenix, and that's the big one. A lot of people speculated, a lot of people were thinking the rumors were we're going to get a Dark Phoenix saga. And so Sophie Turner, who portrayed Jean Grey, will be coming back, and she'll be the main focus of this movie. So a lot of people probably excited to wonder how they're going to do it, because we saw that the fans didn't really like the way they did it in the X-Men Last Stand. So really giving this saga its own movie, possibly its own 3 movies, where you can really dive into the Dark Phoenix saga and do it the way fans want you to do it. So a lot of interesting things with Fox. Stop all that, give X-Men back to Marvel. It's not happening. Fox knocked out of the park with Deadpool, killed it with Logan. They're making money. They're not giving up X-Men anytime soon. But we got the next installment of Deadpool tying in with Cable and X-Force. We got the X-Men saga continuing after X-Men Apocalypse. But what is that New Mutants timeline? What exactly does that mean? That's what we're really going to have to sit around and find out, because I think that's going to be interesting. Alright, so another interesting thing is happening over at Marvel, where President, Lord and Savior Kevin Feige, Marvel Studios, came out and said Avengers Infinity War and Avengers 4 is no longer shooting simultaneously. It is now going to be shot back to back. I'm going to keep it, and so to explain this to people that were kind of confused, they started off with Avengers Infinity Wars and Avengers Part 4, and they were shooting them at the same time, meaning that they were shooting scenes for one movie, or they were planning on shooting scenes for one movie, shooting scenes for a different movie this day, shooting this scene, shooting that scene, and piecing them together at the end. And now what they're saying is that they're just going to shoot Avengers Infinity War, take a few months off, and then come back and shoot Avengers 4. So they're going to get shot back to back. Now for me, I was confused because I originally thought that's the way they were doing it. When they said they were being shot at the same time, naturally assumed they were shooting one movie and then shooting the next one back to back. I didn't realize they meant literally at the same time, shoot this scene, shoot that scene. So movies have done it, and we've seen it done, but I just didn't think that was the more efficient way to do it. Especially if you're a director or a writer, you're probably like, that gets confusing, makes it a little harder. Whereas the studio understand, put everybody together, use the same set pieces, reuse pieces, and just knock it all out, cost efficient. But in order, I think, for everybody to do their job the right way, they changed the process, which I think is smart. It's definitely smart to shoot one, then shoot the next one. But a lot of stuff coming out of Marvel. We got Kevin Feige, when he was asked about Phase 4, he was saying, I'm not sure we're doing phases anymore. He was talking about how the MCU is going to look a lot different going forward. So whatever that might mean, maybe there isn't the same format that we've seen before. And one thing I like to bring up that Feige said a little bit ago, or someone said, I think it was Feige, but a lot of people didn't talk about it, is that he said after Phase 3, it's not going to be as big as it was. The MCU is going to focus on a lot more smaller stories. And so you think about a Netflix with Jessica Jones, Daredevil type thing, where it's more a neighborhood story than a whole world's about to end story. And that it helps and hurts. There's pros and cons. Because I think that's going to make better solo movies. To this point, MCU, the solo movies are just okay. It's the Avengers team up that we want to see. But I think if you go with smaller stories, you'll have better solo movies because you can focus more. You can talk a lot more about that character. But your crossover movies are probably going to be weak. Because after Thanos, you bring in somebody that you're saying, if you bring in a big bad for the whole thing, is not going to be as big as Thanos. So why are the Avengers teaming up? Why do we need to see that? So I think the crossover movies might not be as strong, but the solo movies might get better with that approach. And you heard a lot about Chris Evans out there talking about his contract ending, talking about Robert Downey Jr., all those different things. So it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes up, but it seems like we might be seeing something a lot different in Marvel than we've seen before. Speaking of something different coming up, the DCU, everybody got news today. We had Zack Snyder release an image today of the Justice League that included Henry Cavill as Superman. So, I'm definitely going to keep it. This is a little ridiculous. People are being weird. We all know, spoilers, in Batman vs. Superman, Superman dies. But it's called The Death of Superman, and then that's associated with Superman Lives comics. Of course, we see Henry Cavill on set. We seen him tease the black suit. We know Superman's coming back. So why people are being weird? Like, oh, it's been 2 trailers. We haven't seen Superman yet. Oh, they released another picture. Superman's not in it. Why I don't get why people act like they need to see him. We know he's going to be in the movie. And I swear, Warner Brothers, please do not show anything about how Superman comes back or what he does in Justice League before the movie comes out. I know Warner Brothers is reactionary, and I hope they're not just like, oh, the fans want to see Superman. Hurry up, put some stuff out with Superman, or they push a trailer out with Superman in it. It would be the equivalent of showing Doomsday last year in the trailer. Don't do that. Do not ruin that movie. We know he's coming back. His part is supposed to be significant. And so that's why they're not trying to show you too much. There's no reason to. I want to go in the theater and be completely swept up in that scene. I don't want them to ruin any of that. So I don't want to see a frame, a second, an inch, a picture, anything. I don't want to see any of it. Do not show us what happens with Superman in that movie. Please, Warner Brothers, I am begging you. We will be okay. We can wait until the movie comes out. But yeah, so that's going on with Justice League. And then, a lot of little things happening at DC. You hear this and that. Josh Whedon was kind of talking about taking on Batgirl and why he picked it. He also said that he talked to Kevin Feige and got his blessing before he did it. And a lot of little things happening over there. So, should be fun. So, yeah, that is all the news for today, though. Go to the comment section. Let me know what you thought. Like, thumbs up, subscribe. And if you heard it here, it's official canon.